The snapping of the neck and rolling of their eyes were the first telltale signs. Grace watched as Natalie Power walked around the living room, bending innocent laundry into sloppy folds and stomp tapping on her phone screen. Her hair crisscrossed over itself as she adjusted and readjusted it. The occasional exasperation after she glared at the phone screen for a few seconds told Grace all she needed to know about who she was texting. Grace looked around and smirked when she saw a pair of socks out in front of her. She reached, grabbed them, and folded the pair into a ball as she tossed at Natalie, landing in front of her. With a turn of her neck, they both locked eyes as Grace outstretched her arms and gave spirit fingers with a wide smile. Springing up from the floor, Natalie threw herself on the couch, her head landing in Grace's lap. "What is it now?" Grace asked as she caressed Natalie's hair. With a pout, Natalie responded, "He's such an idiot." "What did he do this time?" The idiot she was referring to was her boyfriend, Cameron. They had been dating for a little over a year now. Although unsure of Cameron at first, Grace was as supportive as she could be. A little small talk here and there, a few outings, playing the third wheel unfortunately, and Grace actually began to warm up to him. But Grace also knew Natalie. He's still pissed about Joshua. Like, dude, I already told you multiple times. Best friends since junior high. We just started dating. Get over it. So ridiculous. Grace adjusted her own hair as she tried to find the words to speak. "Well, I know you guys had a lot of conversations before about this. You said there was progress." "Exactly," Natalie proclaimed while sitting up. "So why are we talking about it again? It really pisses me off because, like, I told you, if you're gonna act like that, don't try to be with me." "Well, did something come up recently?" "No. That's why it's so stupid." Grace paused for a moment and decided to push a bit further. "Okay, well, you said Joshua came home to visit last week, right? How'd that go? Hopefully him and Cameron got along, right?" "I mean, yeah, it was fine. We just got to catch up. I don't see him as much as he's been gone for college." That was the message she gave, but Grace couldn't help but sense a change in Natalie's tone from just a moment ago. The words weren't as sharp. Her facial expression eased. "How'd Josh and Cameron get along?" "Cameron wasn't there. It was just Josh and I." "Well, maybe that's why Cameron's so upset, Nat." "It shouldn't fucking matter, Grace. Josh and I have been friends literally since 8th grade. I'm not gonna stop talking to him because Cameron's insecure. He can just deal with it." Grace's eyes panned over to Natalie's figure, Carpal with a slight curve in her posture. Like madness, Grace's arms almost came together as well, but she forced them to stay apart, pointing her palm towards Natalie as she spoke. "That's fair, but what about how Cameron feels about that?" Instinctively, she raised both palms slowly before a response was fired back. "I know you and Josh have been friends, but he probably didn't like the fact that the two of you were spending time together without him." "Grace, he knew that when we got together, though. We talked about it, and he said, 'Hey, I trust you. I want you to be happy.' That's what he said." "All right, okay." Natalie's neck darted over it, and her eyes locked onto Grace. "What?" she asked. "I didn't say anything." "No, what? Tell me. You think I'm wrong for seeing Josh?" "I didn't say that. You didn't have to say it." Grace couldn't help but roll her eyes. "Natalie, please don't do this. Don't take it that way." "No, I'm not taking it anyway. Just tell me." Grace shifted uncomfortably on the couch. "I just think that if you're going to be with someone, I don't know if I would love if I had a boyfriend and he kept seeing another woman. It might make me feel uncomfortable. That's all. Well, you're not the one with a boyfriend, are you? Oh, okay. And with that comment, Grace closed her eyes and breathed. In a way, she found it interesting. She had always heard stories about Natalie's temper, but until recently, until she met Cameron, Grace hardly saw that side of her. I get that Cameron knew about Josh from the beginning, but honestly, Natalie, why not just date Josh if you're going to treat people like this? Everything has to be your way, and that's not fair. It's not my job to babysit a grown man. It's not even a point, Natalie. You just date Cameron because Josh doesn't like you that way. A wave of heat came over her. She felt the air race between her lips, wishing an inhale could turn back time. With her head aimed at the floor, Grace's eyes crept up to study Natalie's face. Her expression was as if a foul odor had crept into the room. For a second, there were no words spoken, but the silence pricked her ears without rest. Oh wow, you know what? Yeah, it's me. I guess I'm just a horrible fucking person. Natalie, stop. Stop. Please don't. I'm sorry. I just don't want to see you like actually, you know what? I actually would rather not talk about this right now. Please. I No, we can talk about it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're not horrible. Please don't say that. I just I just actually want to be alone right now. Natalie, stop. We can talk about it. Actually, this is really kind of uncomfortable. Can you go, please? 15. That's how many times Grace played the moment back in her head on the drive home. 8. That's how many alternatives Grace played out in her head. God, I'm so stupid. Why did I push it with Cameron? Why was it even worth it? I mean, it's Natalie. It's not like she's gonna change. But she's so mean. It hurts. Did I want to hurt her? Why'd I even defend Cameron so much? Why? 10. That's how many tears Grace wiped from her face as she gripped the steering wheel hard enough to rip the peel the black off. And she dragged all this weight with her as she ambled through the door of her father's house. She noticed her older brother sitting at the kitchen table as she walked in. He appeared to be putting away his belongings. Grace stepped towards him with heavy feet as her brother noticed her presence. He continued to pack as he said, "The hell's wrong with you? Are you about to leave?" "Well, yeah, but I got some time. What's up?" Grace let out a sigh. I know, it's stupid, but Natalie and I kinda got into a fight." Her brother's eyebrows raised as he let a sly smile shine across his face. "Just now? Nice. Want to take a shot? You know I don't drink." After hanging out with her, you should probably try it. "Jonas!" "What?" he said, shoulders raised. "Grace, look, I'm not even sure how you were friends with her to begin with. The girl's a complete nightmare." "You weren't saying that when you thought she liked you." "Oh, yes, I did. Trust me. But I never said she wasn't unattractive." "Oh my God." Grace threw her head back and looked at the ceiling. Okay, Jonas said, laughing. "What happened?" Grace explained the gist of the argument to her brother. "Well, yeah," he said after she was finished. "I can see why Cameron felt that way. I'd be pissed too. This is why girls with a bunch of guy friends is a major red flag." "Well, not every girl's like that though." "Also, what, now you're defending her? After you just told her off?" So backwards. And doesn't this like break girl code or something? "I don't know what that means." "Oh, I think you do," Jonas responded. "You told the truth. You were honest. And we all know that's basically a cardinal sin. Now she spits because you hurt her with a ego. You can't have that. Let me guess, because women are just weak and helpless, right? Grace said as she rolled her eyes. Relax. You're better than that. All I'm saying is, what am I trying to say? Look, women love possibility, but completely ignore probability. I mean, listen, can men and women be friends? Sure, it's possible. But 9 times out of 10, it's probably not a good idea. She clearly likes the dude, but it just sounds like he didn't like her. And Cameron's caught in the middle of that. And honestly, that's on him. But that's what I was trying to say, but she took it so hard. Jonah rose from the chair and slid his backpack on. He then walked over to Grace and kissed her on the forehead. She hated the smile that sprung on her face. Look, I get it's not easy, but you were honest, and for that you should have no shame. If she can't see that, good riddance. Now you know where you two really stand. With a deep sigh, Grace crossed her arms dramatically with a playful smile. I need a big sister. You and Dad outnumber me. No fun. I'm afraid we're all you got, kid. Love you. Love you too. Cards later? Wouldn't miss it. They both smiled at each other as Jonas closed the door behind them. Warmth came over her. But of course, she looked over at her phone face down on the couch and felt like she suddenly needed a nap. Reaching over to grab it, she took a deep breath, went to Natalie's message log, and typed. Then retyped. Then walked around the living room and did a Google search on how to reconcile an argument. Then finally typed again. By the time she hit the send button, the phone was about 2 inches from her face as she waited patiently for the word delivered to appear under the message.